Good morning, my dear children. In the first part, we learned about stories in our unit, that is tales and tunes. Now we're moving on to the next part.
Stories go beyond the boundaries of time and space. They lead us to wisdom. Can you tell a story that you have heard from your grandparents or elders or friends? Have you heard of the famous storyteller Aesop? He was a Greek slave who lived in 600 BC. Aesop did not, in fact, write the fables he told. They have been orally passed on from generation to generation. They still live in the minds of people. What is meant by fable? A fable is a traditional short story that teaches a moral, especially one with animals as characters. Let's read one of the Aesop fables. A rich voyager from Athens was on a voyage with two companions. In the course of their voyage, a violent storm blew up and capsized the ship. The companions tried to swim ashore, but the rich voyager kept calling on Athena, which means the goddess of Athens, and promised her lavish offerings if he escaped. One of his shipwrecked companions, as he swam past, shouted to him, "Don't leave it all to Athena. Use your arms as well." Children, what message does the fable convey? From the story, we can see that one of his shipwrecked companions swam past. Without doing anything, the rich voyager is calling out God for help without doing anything. From the story, we can convey the message that God helps those who help themselves, right? Given below are some proverbs and sayings. Which of these can be taken as the moral of the story? There are two proverbs given below that are, first one is, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Second one, God helps those who help themselves. Let's find out. The next activity, match each of the proverbs on the left with its meaning on the right. The first one is done for you. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. The meaning of that proverb is, don't take the chance of losing something you have in search of something better. Below that, there are four proverbs also. Let's find out the meaning of that proverb. The fable you have just read is very short, yet it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You all know that stories have generally a beginning, a middle, and an end. Read the story given below. Keep your eyes open. Once upon a time, there was a lion that grew so old that he was unable to kill any prey for his food. So he said to himself, I must do something or else I will die of starvation. He kept thinking, and at last an idea struck him. He decided to lie down inside the cave pretending to be ill. Those who came to inquire about his health would become his prey. He put his wicked plan into practice and it started working. Many of his well wishers got killed. But evil is short lived. One day, a clever fox came to visit the lion. He stood at the mouth of the cave. He looked around and understood the reality, so he called out to the lion from outside and said, How are you, sir? The lion replied, I am not feeling well. Why don't you come inside? Then the fox replied, I would love to come in, sir, but I see all the footprints as going into a cave, but none as coming out. I would be foolish enough to come in. Saying so, the fox went to alert the other animals. In this story, we can see a beginning, development, something happens, things come to an end, and conclusion. Let's check all in detail. The essential elements of the story are beginning, development, something happens, things come to an end, and conclusion. When comparing this story, we can check what are the elements of the story. First one, beginning. Once upon a time, there was a lion that grew so old that he was unable to kill any prey for his food. In the element of development, we can see that so he said to himself, I must do something or else I will die of starvation. The element of development portion, that so he said to himself, I must do something or else I will die of starvation. From that, we can see that he put his wicked plan into practice and it started working. These are all come under development portion. The third element is something happens. One day, a clever fox came to visit the lion. He stood at the mouth of the cave. From that, the lion replied, I am not feeling well. Why don't you come inside? That portion come under something happens. In the portion, things come to an end. Then the fox replied, I would love to come in, sir, but I see all the footprints as going into a cave, but none as coming out. I would be foolish enough to come in. These come under things come to an end. And the last one is conclusion. Saying so, the fox went to alert the other animals. There's a ending part of the story that is called conclusion.
This is all for today. Thank you.